All right, so you should have just gotten done watching that figurative language video with the difference between figurative and literal language. So again, literal or figurative language is a way to say something, but you're not taking it literally. So in your resource notebook, and I'm just going to show you here. If you have it, great. If you don't have it, that's okay. You can just look at my screen for a little bit. So figurative language is this right here. So literal is doing exactly what the words say, or figurative is using the words given to describe a situation creatively. Okay, so the words are meant in a different way than stated. All right, so there's multiple different types of figurative language. We have onomatopoeia. Those are sound words. So those words actually sound like how you say them. So boom, like it actually makes that sound as well. But we have to be careful to not overdo those words. Okay. Then we have personification. This is where you give human characteristics to a non-living or non-human thing. So for instance, the tree waved in the breeze. Sorry. So the tree's not actually out there like waving to you like, hi. It's waving in the breeze in the sense that it's windy and it's just kind of swaying. Okay. Or my pencil danced across the page. That's like if someone's writing really furiously, like it's dancing on the page because it just keeps moving. Okay, so it's a way to say things creatively to get a point across. It's not taken like literally. Okay. All right. So then we have alliteration. This is where repeated sounds at the beginning of the word. It's just the beginning sounds. Okay. So we have Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So those are all obviously with the letter P. The third one down, it says the fish is by the phone. They have the same sound. It's not necessarily the same letter, but it has the same sound. So we're only looking at that repeated sound. Okay. Then we have allusion. This is a common reference to something that is famous that we all kind of know. In a sense, like if you're going to go to, maybe you have a championship game coming up and then someone says, oh, may the force be with you. So that's a reference to Star Wars, but they're really just saying good luck, like you got this kind of thing. Okay. Then we have hyperbole. This is an exaggeration of reality. So for instance, right here, it says, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. If they're not actually going to eat a horse, they're just really, really hungry. Or this one, the girl wore a ton of makeup. A ton is 2,000 pounds. There's no way someone could wear 2,000 pounds of makeup. So it's just a way to, it doesn't literally happen, but it's a way to be like, whoa, that's a lot of makeup kind of thing. Okay. Then we have three more we're going to talk about. So this one right here is idiom. This is a figure of speech, usually well-known phrases that you don't take literally. There's a lot more than that are on here. I know some of the ones that you will know, like it's raining cats and dogs. Like you're not literally going to go outside and a dog's going to fall on your head or something. That just means it's raining really hard. Don't judge a book by its cover. That goes back to the whole thing of you can't judge someone before you get to know them kind of thing. Okay, so there's a lot of those and way more than actually is on here. Okay. Simile. Simile is where you compare two or more things using the word like or as. So like here it says her hair was as golden as the sun. You're comparing hair to the sun by using the word as. This one, the sound was like nails on a chalkboard. You're comparing the sound with nails on a chalkboard and using the word like. Okay. So then metaphor is very similar, except for metaphor compares two ideas by saying something that something actually is something else. So instead of saying it's like something, it says it is something. So the room is a pigsty. That would be a metaphor. Okay? All right. So those are the different types of figurative language that we are going to be looking for in all the different types of mentor texts that we do and just as we're reading, that kind of thing. So the next thing that we end up doing is a class, and you guys can kind of see this. I'll just kind of show you. At any point, though, if you need to pause and do all that, that's fine. There are multiple mentor texts that we are going to look at. If you need to look at them, they're in the mentor text folder in the reading and writing course. So you can go and actually click on those. Or if you have your sandbox with you, awesome, you can also use those. All right. So the first one that we ended up looking at was the adoption ad for the Chihuahua. And one thing that the class ended up finding was this one right here. We actually circled it. Children hating dogs that look like gremlins. Okay, so when we're looking at that, like we're actually trying to find different types of figurative language in the piece. And so this is one right here that a student found. And so they're comparing the dog to a gremlin. And they're using the word like. So that's going to be a simile. Okay, so what you're going to do on page 52 in your resource notebook, we actually wrote down some of these examples. Okay, so I'm going to show you the examples that we found first, and then I'll show you what we wrote down. But you're going to write that down on page 52. If you do not have page 52, you're going to write it down on a separate sheet of paper, and we will tape that to page 52 when you get back. All right, so this one right here, that is a simile. Another one that somebody found was, where is that at? Oh, right down here. Okay, so not a real dog, but more like a vessel for a traumatized Victorian child that now haunts our home. So again, they're comparing the dog to this Victorian child. So that would be using the word like, so that'd be another simile. Okay? All right, so that's just 2 examples from here. There's more in there. We're going to go ahead and move to the next one. So again, if you need to find this mentor text either in your sandbox or in the mentor text folder, you can do that. All right, so this is the 9/11 piece, the rescue at the water's edge. We're going to look at the 3rd column, so 1, 2, 3. And then here is the one that the class found. It says boom, boom, boom. That is an example of onomatopoeia. So it's a sound word. So we wrote that one down. And then right underneath that, in this paragraph right here, it says, let's see, avalanche of dust spilled from the tower's ruins and began barreling through the city, wrapping around building after building. So that right there is another, it's a different one. It's not onomatopoeia. It's actually personification, because they're saying that the dust barreled through the city and wrapped around the building. So that's like wrapping, like that's personification. Okay. So on page 52, or if you don't have page 52 because you don't have your resource notebook, you can do it on a separate sheet of paper. And again, you can pause whenever need be. This is what we ended up writing on page 52. Underneath the different types of figurative language, we just went underneath it and we wrote this. So I'm going to have you go ahead and pause this, and I want you to write this down because those are the different types of figurative language that we found in 2 different mentor texts that we have used. So go ahead and pause and write that down. Okay, so now we are back. So that's what we ended up doing there. That's just our first little try with figurative language. We'll do some more stuff with that later. All right, the next step that we are going to take is you're going to put your notebooks away for a little bit. And you are going to need to get on your computer. And, you're going to find your learning journal. It looks like this. So again, you go to the, I'll show you really quickly. You go to, not Explorers course. You go to the Reading Writing course, click on the green folder, and you're going to open up this learning journal. Okay, so open up yours, and you're going to find the one that has the purple background. And then what you are going to do, and again, if you need to pause for any moment, please pause. That's fine. And then just hit play when you're ready to move on. So what you should have done on this is you should have your first initial try with connotation doing CER. Okay. Then under here where it says after teacher directions, you should have been like typing things that you needed to include within your response. And then you went down here and you revised and you included those things that you missed. So hopefully your first try and your second try look different. If you've not done those things for some reason, I don't know, either you're behind or something happened, but you're still just going to reflect today on this. So I want you just to look at this because you should have where you started to where you have kind of ended, at least for now. Okay. Some of you may also scroll down and see that it says some other things here because maybe I already talked to you, or maybe you like ended up saying something about yourself, reflecting on, hey, it looks better, but I need to also add this, that kind of thing. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you looked at that again. So if you need to pause this and kind of read through or go to your actual document and read through what you wrote, that will help you with this next portion. All right. So then what we ended up doing with this, and if you have this piece of paper, awesome. If you do not have this piece of paper, you can, again, just write this on a piece of paper, and we will transfer it later, okay? All right, so we're going to reflect on connotation right now. And so you're going to put connotation, you'll put today's date. I already have tomorrow's date on there, so if you're doing this today, you can put 9/27. But then in these lines or on a separate sheet of paper, you're going to reflect on a question. And I'm just kind of curious as to what you are going to put down. So again, if you have the piece of paper, awesome, you can write on it. If you don't have the piece of paper, you're going to answer these questions on a separate sheet of paper. So the questions that I would like for you to answer are these questions right here. Why are we learning about connotation? And how does this skill help you as a reader? Okay, so I want you to write that response. I'm going to make this so you can see this a little bit better. You're going to type your response, write your response on this sheet of paper. So make sure that you are doing that. So these are the questions that you are writing down your response to. Why are we learning about connotation? And how does this skill help you as a reader? So there's no wrong answer. I just want you to reflect on this. Maybe think about what connotation is. Maybe think about what we've been talking about, like how it has an impact on the text, saying those different types of things. So what is the point? Like, why is this something that the district and the state is wanting me to teach you? What do you think? How do you think this skill is going to help you as a reader? Okay, you're going to answer that question, and then when you are done, you're done with reading, making sure that you went through all the steps in the reading writing course for this absence. Otherwise, you're good. All right, awesome. Thanks.